It took place between an Iranian air defense controller and a U.S. aircraft. And it went something like this. Unidentified aircraft, this is Iranian air defense. You are in Iranian airspace. The pilot came back, that's a negative. I'm an American aircraft and I'm orbiting over Iraqi airspace. The Iranian came back and said, you are violating Iranian airspace. Either you leave immediately or we will send up aircraft and shoot you down. The pilot came back after a second and said, Iranian air defense, this is the United States Marine Corps F-18 fighter. Send them up. I'll wait. Not a story intended to talk to the bravado of our pilots, although they're a pretty roguish lot. I tell you the story because that's the hair trigger that we're on in the region. And so it gives us concern. I have a high level of confidence in our U.S. chain of command. I mean, the Secretary of Defense can be notified of events happening in the Gulf in a matter of minutes. I have less confidence in how tightly wound the Iranian chain of command is, and in fact, I even believe there are some rogue elements there that could act on their own. And I think an example of that is what we saw a couple of years back now in March of '07 with the capture of the British Royal Marines and British sailors. What would have happened had perhaps those people been Americans? What would have happened had they attempted to resist, thinking that help was on the way? They were badly outgunned and outnumbered. What would be the result of 15 American bodies clearly floating in international waters? You need only contemplate, I think, the possibilities. More recently, and General Shelton mentioned it, we are seeing a definite uptick in the numbers and therefore the effects of Iranian systems working their way into Iraq. As we commence our drawdown and start to withdraw in earnest, we are seeing many more units and elements of activity taking place in an effort, I think, to try to give the impression that they're causing us to leave. In fact, of course, the drawdown has been long known and well planned. In June, we had 15 soldiers killed in Iraq. That is the highest count of casualties since 2008. 9 of those come as a result of rocket attacks onto our main bases, and ladies and gentlemen, those are Iranian rockets. The other weapon system, of course, is the explosively formed penetrator. The Iraqis have had a tough time manufacturing their own, but the Iranian are of good quality, and we're seeing them in Iraq. Next door to Iran, on the other border with Afghanistan, just in the last week or so, our Marine commanders are reporting a definite, again, surge in sniper activity. And where we saw that happen in Iraq some years ago, those quality snipers were Iranians and Syrians. And so there is intrigue taking place here that, again, as has been mentioned, Secretary Panetta, in some of his first actions, is condemning heartily. And so, again, there is the potential that these miscalculations could have relatively severe impact in a relatively short order. The Middle East is the Middle East, and things happen sometimes in an obtuse fashion, and they happen quickly. And so we simply need to be, I think, concerned about that. A second area, I believe, is energy manipulation. In large measure, I believe, through our own doing, our great country has found itself largely dependent on fossil fuels. And in that, there is strategic vulnerability.